Good morning and welcome to the Kindergarten Weekly Updates. Poetry is an art and reciting poetry gives students ability to express their thoughts. KG2 students participated in the poetry recitation this week and we saw some lovely performances. Even some students who in term 1 were not able to speak well in English are now reciting poetry in English language and we are so happy to see their progress. Thank you parents for all your support and training the students, and definitely this is a platform that school gives which you should avail of and train your students as much as you can so that they become perfect slowly and steadily. So let's have a sneak peek into the classroom and listen to our teachers what they have to share about their lessons and activities.
In phonics, pre-KG students were introduced to letter P sound. They learned the alliteration and also they made a piano out of P. In literacy, they did a new story, Lion and the Mouse, using puppets and flashcards. They were able to retell the story in their own words. In numeracy, we did a recap of big and small this week and they were introduced to a new concept, heavy and light. They were excited to use the balance to sort things which are heavy and light. In UOW, they had a recap of pet animals. There was a display of pet animals and their homes in the classroom. They took a tour of it. They were introduced to a new topic, wild animals. They were asked to identify the animals by listening to their sounds.
As we know that phonics is the most effective way to learn how to read. This week, students have learned the sounds of letter B and letter F. They were familiarized with the sight words but, can, not, and were encouraged to use the sight words in their communication. Students continued the story, Where is Spot? They were encouraged to use the positional vocabulary. They made craft and put animals in different positions, like behind the door, inside the clock, or in the basket. They talked about the beginning, middle, and ending of the story. They did various activities to understand it in a better way.
Let me share with you the learning experience of KG1 students in numeracy this week. Learning about pictograph was something new and different for our little learners of KG1. Through pictograph, they learned to collect data and represent it in the form of pictures on the graph. They were thrilled to analyze the data they have collected and it was a great learning for them.
To eat is necessity, but to eat intelligently is an art. This week in UW, children learned about healthy and junk food. They discussed the importance of eating healthy food. They did many activities in different learning corners where they sorted the pictures of healthy and junk food and did vegetable printing as well. They were very excited to design their lunch boxes using different resources.
In phonics, students learned the long oo sound with the help of a story. They came up with words like boots, school, tool, baboon. They were anxious to play snakes and ladders game. In literacy, we continued the story Gingerbread Man. Children were able to sequence the story well using varied vocabulary and frame simple sentences.
In numeracy, children learn about the attributes of 3D shapes. They created their own 3D shapes using different materials like toothpicks, straws, birds, popsicles, etc. And they understood what are faces, edges and the vertex or vertices. They learned and wrote number name 7 in their notebooks. Composing and decomposing number bond 6 was a fun for children.
Students were introduced to the topic construction of raft. They created their own rafts with straws, popsicles, etc. These materials engaged their imagination and they experimented if the raft they made could sink or float.
As we have started with our special assemblies class-wise, this week we had KG2H special assembly on the theme I am special and I am important. They brought out a story of numbers where 0 is feeling very low that he is not important and has no value. But when the other numbers come with 0, as in we put together 0 and any other number, the value of 0 and the number also increases. Similarly, we all are important and unique and also very special in our own ways. So this is what they brought out through this assembly. Next week, we are having fancy dress for our KG1 students. So I request you parents to please encourage them to participate. Also, we have a wonderful activity, Picasso in Me. This activity needs a canvas and brushes where children will get an opportunity to put their ideas on the canvas using paints and different art items that we are going to provide to them. So this is a good platform for students to learn and also express themselves. So this is all from our side for this week. Thank you so much for listening to me. Have a wonderful weekend.